Okay, so no jab, no job. My story. Why am I doing this? Because I'm hoping that maybe somebody else that's out there that's watching this, if they're experiencing something similar, they know they're not alone. And they understand that the emotions that they have are shared by others. So, back in September, I was told by the corporation that I work with that we needed to get vaccinated. And by October, everyone was to return to work. We were allowed to fill out exemptions. Like so much of life, people look for one particular reason why someone wants to do something or doesn't want to do it. I filled out multiple exemptions. And the reason is I filled one out on account of religion. However, I had a talk with God. I didn't want him to think that I was using my faith because it wasn't the only thing that was preventing me from getting the vaccine. Hence the multiple exemption requests. Now that may make sense to some, to some it may not. However, that was what was in my heart. With that said, I filled out the exemptions and began requesting feedback. Never really received any from the exemption team, and it became very confusing because to me it looked like we were trying to be forced out of the position. Now, I can't say that that's the case for certain, but it sure feels that way, especially when you get no answer. I filed under Section 5 of Article 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. If you're not familiar with that, take a look, and that provides you with the information that you need to file a religious exemption. And what it says is that you can't create undue hardship by asking for some type of an accommodation. So my accommodation was to work from home. Now, we were told that working from home in the position I'm in was not in the best interest of our customers or our company, and that we would not be very successful doing so. What's interesting is we've spent the last 2 years working from home, and our stock price has doubled, and we've done very well. So to me, that really doesn't hold water. However, I'm sure in the background, the corporation's attorneys are taking a look at this and evaluating it. Now, October came and went, and I was then told by January 3rd I would no longer have a job if I wasn't vaccinated. So I was at a point where I needed to do something. I wasn't sure they're going to see that through. However, if they did, I'd be without a job. So my wife Kathy and I had been looking at getting out of California for quite some time. So I bought some property, 3 acres out in Georgia, and I'm out here, came out right before Christmas time, and getting things set up. She's still back in California. So it's early February now, and still have plenty to do. January 3rd, obviously, has come and gone. I'm still with the company. Now they've pushed it out to February 15. By February 15, if you are not vaccinated and you do not have a pending status on your exemption, then you will be terminated. If you have a pending status, then you will be put on unpaid leave until April 1st, I believe. And at that point, if you're not vaccinated, you'll be terminated. So this thing keeps pushing out and pushing out. And it's a little bit difficult to take, obviously. You're trying to determine whether or not you should be looking for a new position somewhere. There's insurance that you have to think about. If you have any family members that have any medical issues, you're going to lose your insurance. And so, you're really in a bind as far as your income is concerned as well. It may not be easy for some people to replace. I'm in a field where I can go to other companies if push comes to shove. But when all is said and done, for myself, I can't see getting the vaccine, and I'm making my stand on that. I had a friend tell me, hey, that's not a hill you want to die on. But the fact of the matter is, it is a hill that I want to die on. And the reason is that a long time ago, and this is goes back to my conversation with God, because it's not only a religious exemption, but there are personal reasons as well. A long time ago, I was in a combat situation. We had lost hundreds of men, all one morning with a bomb explosion. And all of those guys were in their early 20s. I'm 60 years old. That's 40 years. And I've had a lot of life to live. And, they were gone basically when they were children, in a sense. And because of that, they gave their life. So they gave their life to protect our freedoms. And here we are faced with something where I'm not convinced that it's necessary for everyone to have a vaccine. And it seems kind of creepy to me to have such a push on something that I don't believe is necessary. So, with that said, is it an assault on our freedoms? I believe it is. Now, we could go on and on about this, and some people agree and some won't. But it just happens to be the way that I feel. And I'm going with that. And I don't need to justify it to anybody. Just like people don't need to justify to me why they are going to get a vaccine. But the fact of the matter is, I do believe that I would be dishonoring all of those young men that died so long ago who fought for our freedoms by turning around and trading in my freedom for a paycheck. I can't, and I won't do it. And so here I am in Georgia, a little chilly. I just came in, had a nice fire going outside, but as it started to die, that was the end of that. By the way, it's pretty interesting. It had rained a couple of days ago, and everything was wet. The logs that I was burning were wet, so it took a while for it to really get going. But let me cut to a little piece of a log and what happens to it when it's sitting in the fire and it has a ton of water on the inside. Take a look at this. Pretty cool, huh? All right, folks. Well, so that's my story, and that's the way I feel about what's going on right now. Again, I don't know if it'll be helpful to anybody, but I wanted to share it and share what my thoughts are. Thank you, and take care.